This video contains pixelated depictions of blood and gore, as well as spoilers for Doom. Welcome to the final part of my series where I try to explain what Doom's maps could represent. If you're out of the loop, go watch the previous videos. Welcome to Hell. Population, you, and thousands of demons. Now, this Hell Keep looks extremely small compared to its map image. It's gotta be colder in Hell than I thought. Is this another Tower of Babel situation? Yeah, almost definitely. I guess you need to mention the rest of the keep behind this gate. You start out in this little organic crater, which is probably one you created yourself after rappelling, or rather falling, down. The ground appears to be made of flesh, even sporting some vines and an eye, making me believe that this is some sort of creature you're stepping on. Keep that in mind for later. The interior of the keep is rather mundane. There's a courtyard, a waste basin for blood, and what could be a sewer or just some underground tunnels. More importantly, however, is the grand hall at the end, which is probably a throne room or maybe just a ritual site. And this is where we already leave the map. Yeah, there's little to really talk about, unfortunately. However, this map does serve as an introduction to how unfair Hell can be. You have to fight several imps right away at the start, before some way stronger Demons force you into the keep itself. The right side is a death trap, as you only have a pistol so far, and while the left side offers a shotgun, it also lowers the ground as you grab it. With no way out, you need to take a leap of faith and jump through a fake wall, where yet more imps ambush you. If Demon's Anomaly was about Hell messing with you, now it's getting serious and truly wants you dead. Worth noting is also the fact that every map in episode 3 is exited via teleporter. Because much like in Doom 2, you're wildly jumping all over the place trying to find a way out. And doing so brings you right to the next level, which is Slough of Despair. This one is infamously shaped like a hand, but that doesn't get across on the map screen in the slightest. These look more like giant half circles with torches in front. However, it actually marks the entrance to the map, which is located in the canyon behind it. If you turn around at the start, you can even see the stairs you took to get here, with more torches marking the exit. Now, a slough is referring to a swamp, which is indicated by the water puddles you can find everywhere. If this were Doom 2, they'd have 100% used the murky water graphics instead. The grey sand is then probably just muck or dirt. On top of that, a slough can also refer to dead or shed skin, much like a snake's. This implies that the map isn't just shaped like a hand for no reason, but actually used to be one. During some ancient battle, it was chopped off of a hellish titan and fell into the soft ground. Similar to the dwarves of Norse mythology, the demons then ate the giant's flesh. The only things left were a few bones here and there, represented here by the white rock walls. Some of them are even still bloody, implying the demons aren't even done yet, especially when they dig their way out of them. Over time, the crater filled up with water and eventually became a swamp, and also a place for the demons to live. The fact it's filled with so many lost souls seems to be on purpose, like it's in such a faraway part of Hell that only souls who got lost end up here. The other notable site is the area with the shotgunners. I interpret them as bloodletting chambers, where humans get drained of their blood and turned into zombies. There's even drains in the floor to catch the blood, while the walls behind them are blood red from all the torture. Hell even tries to catch you once you enter, hoping to turn you into one as well. But luckily, you're too smart and quickly escape to Pandemonium. This level lives up to its name in every way, as it's pure and utter chaos. As one of the most sandy looking maps, it features tech bases meeting wooden flesh, interspersed with gargoyle faces everywhere. This one probably used to actually be a Martian base, one that was yet again converted into something of Hell's liking. Just like Containment Area, the walls are utterly broken, and the floor has burst open to reveal lava and sewage. One of the rooms is even still on fire, with the surrounding area having been burnt to a crisp. And of course, skulls of former employees have been stuffed into the wall, forever serving as decoration. The only place that's kind of fine is the main entrance, which has two windows that look like reception desks. Other areas of note include the Two-Fort Bridge. It's strange that the water hurts you, but maybe it's poisoned. The warning signs indicate that this is a regular occurrence, so it could also be some blue-colored chemicals. Alternatively, it's yet another cooling tank for a nuclear reactor, one that has previously blown up as seen by the burned room next to it. In another place, we can find a room that's spinning wildly. This could be a human leftover, but considering the ceiling is also covered in mortar and the inside is full of flesh, it appears hell has taken over. Further north is a small courtyard for demonic sermons, where stepping on the altar opens a room with ritualistic artifacts stolen from the humans. Why are medkits and a computer required for a ritual, you ask? Well, as the demons don't fully understand them, I'd imagine they're trying to harness their powers somehow, a concept that will show up later. The rest of the level is also filled with some waste areas, where the demons seemingly try to flush important items down the toilet. Whether that's what's actually happening here, I don't care. I like my interpretation. The most important place, however, is the wooden room in the middle of the map, which kind of looks like a skull, no? These are its eyes, and here's the jaw with the mouth. Much like the Slough of Despair, could this have actually been a giant demon's head? It explained why it seems to be connected to veins and why there's organs wriggling about in other areas. So the demons co-opted this Martian base specifically to keep what's left of this creature alive, using the blood of sinners as fuel. The rotating chamber could then be like an iron lung or artificial heart, pumping blood and yummy toxic waste throughout the, quote, body. I mean, this type of concept was revisited several times in Doom 2, so it seems more than likely. Onto the map icon. Now, I had a whole section written out for this, because I had assumed it was for the Unholy Cathedral. Because look at it, it lines up perfectly. I even attributed the blinking red lights to the teleporters in that map's courtyard. Turns out that no, this giant castle looking like structure is actually this level. Now, I'm fine with some icons looking a bit unusual or unfitting, but this is the biggest stretch so far. To be fair, there's also a courtyard here, so the blinking lights could either be blood or demonic energy emanating off of the exposed intestines. Let's also not forget that this area is pretty well lit, with some areas burning so hot that they hurt you. It's still strange that the rest is seemingly meant to look like a castle when nothing in the map resembles it. But then I approached it from the other direction. If this is a UAC base, what if the demons just plopped it in the middle of these walls to keep it safe? They're trying to keep a demon alive here after all. So the actual level is really just this part in the middle, while only the courtyard is visible on the map. The other areas are really underground, which does line up since the courtyard is the highest point. But now let's head to a nearby map, namely House of Pain, aka Torture Haven. This is where humans get chained up on walls to get bled dry, and afterwards get turned into tasty mush. There's all kinds of basins to catch their blood, pipes to pump it, and of course the infamous crushers. It's kind of a factory specifically made for human torture. If this were Doom 2, I'm absolutely sure that it would just be crawling with pain elementals, because pain truly is in their nature. Think back to the blood room in Monster Condo. I believe that pain elementals feed on human suffering, then grind their victims to dust, and eventually regurgitate their souls. But back to the map. Why all this torture anyway? Well, to collect human blood, of course. Seems like it serves a similar purpose for the demons as nuclear waste does, acting as life fuel for particularly big creatures. But which one then? Well, take a look at the map's layout. See how it's designed after a human body. There's the lungs, and here's the esophagus leading down into the stomach and digestive tract. Hell, the crushers even break down food as well. This all seems very similar to the previous map, so what if it's a continuation? What if the entirety of episode 3 has you walking through the remains of an enormous demon? The Slough of Despair was its hand, Pandemonium features its head, and this is the rest of its organs. The icon on the map screen is even a giant skull, like they built this place right on top of its remains. Now, the level itself is divided into 3 parts: the corpse, a temple, and a tech base. The last one seems particularly important for the life support, with all its pipes and cables everywhere. And surprise surprise, it's located right next to the organs. This shows yet again how desperately the demons need human technology for their own gain. Another little thing I'd like to mention is the theme of repetition. There's one part in the temple where you enter a room and fight a zombie man. If you enter the next room, which looks extremely similar, there's another zombie man in the same spot. Or at the end, a near perfect copy of the area with the pipes and blood pool appears right next to it. Or what about the red brick room, where we go from a Pinky to a Cacodemon and finally a Baron of Hell, almost like they're evolving. This could be a coincidence, but it could also hint towards something I'll discuss later. For now, however, let's head to the next map, namely Unholy Cathedral. This one is exactly what the name suggests. It's shaped like a cathedral, has lots of demonic runes everywhere, and even hanging humans like Jesus on the cross. And at the very top is the nave, the interior of the church. Like with so many others, you need to imagine it to be a bit bigger and maybe feature some pews here and there. There's pillars on the sides, some candelabras, and even an altar made of human remains. And it appears some marines managed to make it here too. Maybe they served as part of some hellish ritual, or they were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Other than that, there's yet more religious artifacts, including a valued skull key that is only accessible by hitting the switches on the walls. Unfortunately, it appears you've accidentally tripped the security system by entering the hall. Since to do so, you need to step through this light gate to prove that you're worthy. I guess you're not worthy. Right next to the hall is an actual sewage area. Not sure why the demons need it, but the room next to it appears to be a giant furnace, burning you as you step inside. So this could be the waste processing area where all the human remains are either flushed down or burnt. The bones can then serve as decoration or get thrown in this pit on the far right. In the middle of the level is the courtyard, which seems to be really important as all the teleporters insist on taking you there. I interpret it as being some sort of feeding ground where humans are taken to be devoured by the demons waiting in the towers. Which seems to have already happened judging by all the corpses everywhere. It would also explain why it's so hard to escape from there. All the teleporters are hardwired to send any human back to it, while demons can take them at their own leisure. On the map screen there's not much to see, as the level appears as just a burning hole in the wall. Would have been cool if it had a different iconid. However, considering its proximity to the final level, it's probably part of the same castle, and the fire portal is only where you've entered it. So you're at the very bottom, while the spider demon waits for you at the very top. You could have visited it right away, but as we've established, the teleporters in this place do what they want. And so you instead get taken to Mount Erebus. Did you know that there's an actual volcano called that? It's located in Antarctica, right next to another volcano with a much cooler name, Mount Terror. And this level could be the very same one, having been brought to Hell. Or alternatively, it serves as a portal between Hell and Earth, connecting both volcanoes like a tube. Regardless, it certainly looks like a volcano, shown by the lava and volcanic ash everywhere. The fire blue texture is likely meant to represent dripping magma, which can look pretty funky. And as the floor is just floating on lava, it gives away easily in certain spots. These floating hell thingies could have originally been part of the floor as well, but everything around them collapsed below. Now, this level is one thing and one thing only: a living space for demons. There's lots of houses where they can reside, ranging from small ones to big ones. Ones that are just on a wall, to ones with actual rooms, and even ones with second floors and balconies. It's kind of a hellish suburbs, which explains why the demons adapted to that place so easily. The green building heavily reminds you of the red brick house from the Citadel, with the stairs leading up to it and sentries outside. It even has a teleporter inside, implying it could serve a similar purpose. The stairwell to me seems to lead to floors above and below, which aren't present simply because Doom can't do room over rooms. So the actual building is much bigger than advertised and could be the equivalent of an apartment building. This also applies to the Vine House, which seems to be in very poor shape. Much like the factory, the floor has crashed below and teleporters are the only way to reach the outside. However, Hell is on the case, and the vines will shortly repair all the damage. The nicest building is probably the big fire blue one, the Baron Manor as I like to call it. It has a lovely foyer downstairs, gorgeous staircases to take you upstairs as you ponder demonic art, and the top floor with what could be a bedroom or a lounge. The window then offers a great view of the Skull Wall. Gruesome? To us maybe, but for Baron of Hell, it's the equivalent of admiring a hedge garden. Incidentally, this building also seems to be what's depicted on the map screen since it's the largest one. The surrounding brick walls are also represented and seem to enclose this gated community. Aside from that, there's 3 more areas of note. The first is the aforementioned Wall of Skulls, which have been freshly harvested from sinners. Or, as they're far too big, maybe those are demon skulls. The second site is the ritual site. Here, demons are currently performing a ritual, with 2 imps having just been sacrificed, explaining the heart on a pillar. The platform with the artifact seems to be alive, surrounded by pulsating vines. Considering the coloration, this could be a spinal column or bone shard. The stairs above are for demonic priests to preach to the masses. But why guns as offerings? Well, as I've hinted at in previous maps, these are religious artifacts. As the demons don't quite understand our technology, they might be trying to extract whatever powers these weapons might have, and then instill them in the creature whose body part they're resting on. And look closely. Notice anything about these weapons? A shotgun, a chain gun, a rocket launcher? All weapons you can find in episode 1. And what happened at the end of episode 1? These are your weapons. Of course they consider them holy, because they were used to slaughter their kin by the hundreds. No human has ever done that before, so they must be filled with some extreme magic. It's honestly fascinating and a little bit cute. Even the demons are trying to make sense of nonsense. The final area is the water hole, which confuses me. These structures look like ruins, and it appears the place is sunk below. Not into lava like always, but water this time. But why water? And what about this blue structure leading to the secret exit? Well, remember the 4-dimensional cube in Doom 2? That one was also made of water. So maybe it relates to travel through time, or at least across dimensions in some way. I mean, reality seems to be breaking apart here, as some of the walls don't even show up on the map, like they're just illusions. Which is a concept that will get revisited in the map this water-based teleporter takes you to. But we're not going there yet. Instead, we take the exit teleporter, located in a sewer pipe that flushes out used blood. And that's how we get to Limbo, the second to last level. Blood, 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 entire oceans of it. The walls are coated, maybe painted with it, and even the ceiling is full of dried blood. No wonder the previous exit looked like that. Now, a limbo is a dance where one tries to dance as closely to the ground as possible to pass underneath the bar. But it's also the outermost part of hell, which would explain why the level is represented by some pillars on the map, as these mark the entrance to hell, which you've already traveled through. Similar to the House of Pain, this seems to be a factory for the demons, like a refinery. Here's where the blood of sinners gets collected as they pass through, before it's then refined and pumped to different parts of hell via these pipes. Heck, change some of the textures around and it's easily an episode 1 level. Also love this BFG they tried to flush down the toilet. Aside from that, there's not many sights. There's another pentagram with yet another soul in the middle, probably part of some ritual held by these demons. The door at the start is also booby-trapped, not leading back outside, but releasing yet more hellish fiends. I've heard of fake exits, but fake entrances? But this level also marks the first time there are 0 marine corpses anywhere. While previous maps had a couple, sometimes a lot, it appears no marine ever made it here alive. That, or they've already been processed. The exit is also highly secure, requiring several switches to be pressed to access it. Which would explain why you need to wade through boiling blood to reach the hidden, locked off teleporters to activate them. No ordinary human is meant to be able to do any of that. But you are no ordinary human, and thus you take the Hell Factory's employee entrance and head to the demonic mastermind's lair, after we visited the secret level of course. Welcome to Hell. Population, you, and thousands of demons. No, wait, hold on, we've been through this before. Did the game glitch and suddenly send us back to the beginning? Because this is 1-to-1 the same exact level. Well, right until the end, when the fake teleporter reveals a cyber demon battle and opens up the rest of the map. Oh, classic Hell, always messing with our heads and making us doubt our sanity. Though this is a first. But what if it's not on purpose? What if this time, Hell isn't actually trying to play with your expectations? What if you accidentally stumbled into a place they locked off for a reason? In House of Pain, there was a theme of repetition, rooms you've already cleared out reappearing as if nothing had happened. And here, the entire damn level is one you've already beaten. Even aside from that, it's full of areas that appear to call back to previous ones. The Cyberdemon battle obviously calls back to Tower of Babel, while the Spectre area always reminds me of the exit stairwell back on Phobos Anomaly. And the area at the end appears to harken back to Horse of the Damned. Here, the same rooms, or should I say warrens, filled with shotgunners, are copied and pasted one after the other. It's like the level is stuck on a loop, going, remember Mars, remember Mars, remember Mars, remember Mars, remember Mars. What if that's it? What if this whole place isn't in any way real, but just a memory? Yours, perhaps, or maybe someone else's. The icon on the map is a skull, near identical to the one from House of Pain, but this time grey and faded, almost slipping out of reality with what to me looks like blur lines. You've traveled through the body of the great demon, stepping on its flesh and bone, and now you've arrived in its memories. But as fleeting and fading as these memories are, they're bound to fall apart, leading to things just not quite adding up. Past experiences blur together to form new ones, while the host is unsure of what really happened. This is the place where memories go to die. But let's not concern ourselves with that, and instead head into Doom's finale. I need to get something about the name out of the way first. This is a fictional city from the Divine Comedy, containing the lower parts of hell, which would definitely explain why you're here. On the other hand, this Pater refers to the Roman god of the underworld, which despite a mastermind, might as well be at this point. Norse mythology also has a dis, though written a bit differently, referring to a spirit or goddess associated with fate. And this truly is your fate after all. Now, onto the level itself. It's been pointed out on Doom World that the map's layout bears a resemblance to Fort J on Governor Island in New York. While I don't think it's meant to be exactly that, it certainly looks like a fort or a castle. Unsurprising, as the map icon depicts it as the very top of the same building the Unholy Cathedral was part of. It appears to be a giant arena or perhaps coliseum, with stands on the sides for demons to witness people, or other demons, fight each other to the death below. And you're doing that today. The spider demon wants to see who has been standing in the way of her plans all this time, and plans to take you on personally. This was no ambush, you didn't get here on accident, you were invited. You'd think she'd appear in the giant flesh pot in the middle, but surprises you by being off to the side. I believe the chamber could be a sort of repair station of hers, similar to the one Darth Vader uses in Star Wars. Alternatively, this is a lift which is used for making fighters enter the arena. Once the doors open up, they're at the mercy of whatever is around them. You, on the other hand, took the entrance for the spectators. By the bloody marks on the walls, you can tell that the floor is usually coated with blood, but has been cleaned just for this special occasion. Because the only blood to soil the ground will be yours. Or so the spider mastermind thinks. Custom fit with a mech carrying a giant chain gun, she takes you on. The mech itself appears to be connected directly to her brain, allowing her to control it with her mind. Her mastermind, if you will. Her stubby little arms flail wildly, while I don't even believe she has any legs at all. To me, she appears she's part of the same species as the Khaki-demons and Pain Elementals. However, she's traded her ability to fly for an enormous brain, growing so large that it burst out of her skull, her skin barely stretched over it. This is what grants her authority over any other demon, including the Cyberdemon. A reminder of which she has permanently engraved on the door to the arena, with 2 Cyberdemon skulls showing who she's boss of. No wonder they were so eager to turn on each other in gotcha. Like with the Cyberdemon, the question is who made the mech, a question I think all of us already know the answer to. Whether it was mind control, corruption, or for scientific gain, certain UIC employees gladly built her a throne to rule and fight on. So this means the demon invasion really didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't an accident at all, but something the humans actively assisted with. Humans that were rewarded by being turned into zombies afterwards, forever shambling across the earth as rotten corpses. And as you blow her to smithereens, ending her reign, for now, a teleporter to Earth suddenly opens. Is it hell playing fair, throwing you out before you can cause more harm? Or is it again toying with you, showing you that Mars was just the beginning? But that's a story for another day, one I've already made a video about. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on this journey. I've received numerous requests to also talk about episode 4, but honestly, I don't wanna. I'm not a fan of its levels, and neither do they really inspire me. Due to a lack of map screen and story hints, it's also impossible for me to tell where or even when it's meant to be taking place. Thus, my little series comes to an end. I do very much hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful day, and goodbye.